Hello and welcome to the second video in the Practical Python series on if and else statements in Python. If statements are useful for determining whether something is true or not, or if it's within a given range. Let's start by looking at a simple example. Let's say we have two values. We have a and b. A is 15 and b is 3. If we'd like to determine whether a is greater than b, we can use an if statement. What the if statement accomplishes is it determines whether something is true or false. If it's true, it takes an action, and if it's false, it either does not do an action or we go to another level, for example, the else in the if statement. In this example, we don't have the else included, but we'll see that in a little bit. We see that when this if statement gets evaluated, a is in fact greater than b. So we print out the statement a is greater than b. So the code underneath the if statement gets evaluated. However, let's change a and b. Let's ask if b is greater than a. I'll update the statement inside the if, and then I'll change the printout. Notice that nothing happens here. That's because a is still greater than b. In some cases, you won't need to include the else statement. In this example, I'm going to add it in. It's useful to include the else statement because it includes all other cases than what is within the if statement. Now let's redo the last example, but let's include the else and print out a is greater than b. The else statement captures every other scenario than b being greater than a. So if b is equal to a, we'll hit the else. If a is greater than b, we'll hit the else. Although this is an improvement to include the else, we still don't have the case evaluated here if a is equal to b. And we'll see that in a little bit in the else if statement. One scenario where I use if statements frequently is when I'm interacting with a user. In this example, I'm going to request information using a for loop. I'm going to use the input function. The input function prompts the user and then saves the information when they respond. Here I'm assigning user input to the input function. The string is enter a number greater than 5. And once we get the user input, we need to convert that from a string to an integer so we can evaluate it as if it is a number. The if statement is going to give the user feedback on their input. They either responded correctly or incorrectly. So the if statement says, if the user is greater than 5, print out nice work. Else, print, you were wrong, buddy, sorry. Running this code, I'll first enter a number that is less than 5. 1 is less than 5, so we get, you were wrong, buddy, sorry. I'll enter 5, which is still not greater than 5, and I'll enter 50, which is greater than 5, and I'll tell the user, nice work. We do have the option to use an else if statement, which abbreviates to ELIF. Let's say we're going to cut the user some slack, and if they type 5, because maybe they misread it, we can give them a separate message. Close but not acceptable. Let's run this and then use the same input as we did before. If they enter something less, then they're wrong. If they enter something equal, it's close, but it's not acceptable. If they enter something greater, then you get the nice work prompt. Typically, else if captures some of the corner cases of what you're trying to evaluate. It's different from the else because the else is a catch-all at the end. The else if can capture a subset of acceptable responses. whereas the else is a general catch-all for everything outside of the if and the else ifs, and you can have multiple else ifs inside a statement. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you learn more about the if and else statements. Stay tuned for more content and let me know what you think in the comments section.